rely on the comments?
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty, cool. But yeah, so these, I don't know if it's popped up for you yet.
I haven't gotten a notification.
Okay.
Okay, there it just got. Alright.
I hear my voice.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Shut it off.
But yeah, so say that you wanted to go to Bernard's Loop or the Horsehead Nebula, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually go to these places and check them out, right? So yeah, the game's massive. And
yet somehow COD is bigger.
yeah, there's also another thing that is developing right now within the universe of this game. There are aliens, right? And these aliens are called Thargoids, right? Thargoids are insect-like creatures that, well, back in the day, when we, alright, so we originated from a system named Sol. So I'm going to look up the system right now. This is where you're probably going to spawn, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, I think I've actually heard it, like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that is where we came from. That has Earth modeled in it, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, all that shit.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It has all that modeled into it. But back in the day when we were first expanding from Sol with our spaceships and all that shit, right? There was spaceships going missing, and nobody knew what it was until
Your mom attacked.
Yeah. Until a Thargoid actually was caught on either camera or some other way. And so what the human race did was basically made the bubonic plague and was like, here, have some of this. And it really pissed off Thargoids. Now, the Thargoids went into hiding for a couple years, but now they're back and they're destroying space stations and other things. But right now, they're going after a U.S. or not a U.S. a humankind mothership, and they are following it because it's carrying old advanced technology that belonged to the enemies of the Thargoid way back in the day, called the Guardians. And that mothership is flying towards Sol, where Earth is. So there's a big war going on with Thargoids right now. I don't even have the technology or the money to even get close to dealing with that shit. But so that's basically the background simulation, right? There's a shit ton of different ships. How you find those? You go in the shipyard, and then you can choose which one it is, which one you want. And they all have a different cost up on the top right, going from the cheapest to the most expensive. There's going to be different ships and different systems.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And yeah, there's going to be different outfitting. Outfitting is how you outfit your ship. Like right now, this is my missile cruiser. This is my combat ship.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you think that's crazy? Hold on, I'll show you.
It's kind of tight.
So this is where I'm going to show. So this is a starport, right? This is basically a massive space station. And hold on, let me leave. There is laws within the universe, like you can get speeding tickets and all that shit if you're in a starport and you go fucking 300 miles an hour. Well, I guess more than that because it's a starport and 300 miles an hour wouldn't be very fast. But there is... Well, let me get... So this right now is just normal speed, right? This is what I meant by, you know, just normal cruising speed. This isn't going to get you anywhere unless you're close to a starport. So this, you're going to go, you know, I can go, you know, fucking 20 kilometers in probably 30 seconds in this, you know, in this mode.
God, I wish I could have something like that. The game just go a lot easier.
But now, this is called Super Cruise. This is how you normally get around in systems, not being around, you know, starports and stuff like that. So you're gonna have all your different planets, your you know, the stuff orbiting the planets, and this is gonna be a lot quicker than the normal version.
I think this reminds me of No Man's Sky more. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this kind of reminds me of I might have played this before, but I think it was just No Man's Sky.
Yeah. And I guess I'll show you the combat aspect first. So the combat aspect is, this is your transactions, navigation, contacts tab. This is basically how you, it's basically your GPS. So say that, you know, you have a bounty or something, and you go into your transactions, see how much your bounty is. Or say that you have contacts that you want to talk to, or scan or highlight. That's how you find those. But navigation is basically your GPS. So let's go to a...
Wait, did I just see dolphin?
Yeah, it's a ship type. I don't know why, but they were like, we should name our ships after animals. Be great. There's the python, the cobra, the adder, the mamba. There's the dolphin, the orca, the beluga. There's, yeah, I don't know. Like this one's literally called the Fer-de-Lance, which is another snake name. But, no, what I'm using right now is kind of like, I'm just flying normally, but I have a Super Cruise Assist. There's Super Cruise Assist, and then there's Super Cruise, just Super Cruise Assist. Like, so this is just like, you see the blue bar, right? That is a recommended speed that I'm going. Like on the right where it says 38 and going up, that's the recommended, that's my throttle. Now if I want to throttle down or throttle up, it's going to adjust, you know, accordingly. But Super Cruise Assist, it basically just takes the ship and it's like, alright, we're going. You have no control over your speed and stuff, and I don't really like that. Some people do, because you can just kind of toss your controller and wait. But
yeah, that's kind of how I've done that a few times with games like Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll set on the autopilot on that and ride across the entire map to go do something I wanted to do, and just surf around on my phone or go do something, then come back and pick back up where I left off.
Yeah. So that's basically Super Cruise. Now say that I wanted to get to a different system. It's basically like a loading screen. What a hyperdrive is, basically. Or your frame shift drive. So say that you wanted to, that's the crazy thing about Thargoids. Thargoids actually kind of break the game mechanics because they rip you out of your hyperdrive, your frame shift drive. It rips you out of basically the loading screen and you're in the dead of space.
Huh.
Which is pretty nuts.
That is nuts.
But, so see, you see on the lower hand left side, it says speed and distance. So that's basic. Yeah.
Give me a moment. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's basically telling you need to be this far and this fast to get to where you want to go, or you're going to overshoot. And we usually call that the loop of shame, because you have to do a loop. But yeah, so an example would be, since this is my basically my missile carrier, if I just deploy my weapons and I go to third person, I'll show you my weapons real quick. So I have missiles, 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 the missiles, right? But down here, ships will have shields. Down here is my shield breaker. It basically just melts shields, and then I can basically one-tap people with my missiles. It is fun, but it kind of gets repetitive after a little bit.
Yeah.
There's different kinds of ways of making currency in this game, like deep core mining, or laser mining, or just whatever you prefer.
Going to asteroids and mining them, or
yeah.
what's that?
So deep core mining is basically you're throwing a tactical nuke in the middle of an asteroid and then blowing it up.
Here's my tactical nuke.
So right now what I'm doing is I'm scanning this guy. You see on the left hand it says Federal Gunship, Lee Merrill, Competent, Clean, and then the other shit. Clean, if they're wanted, instead of clean it'll say wanted. And it's kind of how you know. If you do kill somebody who is clean and you want to do pirating stuff, you will get a bounty, and then it'll say wanted on your name. So here's a little bit of a combat situation going on right now. See wanted. Oh, that's clean.
What's your preferred way of doing it?
Combat wise, making money. Starting out, it would be good to do some deep core mining, but you kind of need money to get to that point. So you see how this guy says wanted on his name?
Oof.
So his shields just went offline because he took too much thermal damage. And then I basically just lock him up with my missiles, then fire. And he's dead. And then I get the bounty that was on his name.
So you get the money?
Yeah. And then I have to go back to a space station and kind of just redeem it.
Huh.
Now, being close to planets and asteroid belts, you're going to get mass locked, which is basically just saying there's too much gravitational pull for you to kind of immediately jump out of the area. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But once you're far enough away, you can jump out. Now with exploring, you see the fuel bottom right down there.
Sorry. Sorry. Give me just a moment.
It's all good, man. Take your time.
Alright. Yeah, I see the fuel.
Yeah, so with exploring, you got to kind of pay attention to that. And if it gets really low, then, like I said, you're going to have to call the fuel rats. But exploring is really, you can make money by doing that as well. By selling your cartography data. But yeah, exploring just...
This reminds me of a game. It's called Eve Online. I've never played it, but I've only heard about it. And apparently, it's a lot like this. Like it has a big, huge system, and there's so much to do and so much to the game that people who only play that game don't even know how it works.
Yeah. Like, there's a saying in this game that me and my friends use is, once you start, you're finally starting to understand everything about this game, the game turns around and says, no, fuck you, and then you get confused again.
Yeah.
This game is just so complex. Like, I don't even know everything about this game. I think the biggest learning curve about this game is just going to be learning the basic mechanics of it. So like your social tab, Then you got your everything about your ship, your inventory, your status, and then you got your fucking left-hand panel, then you got your bottom panel. It's really just kind of like a grind to understand everything about it. But once you understand enough, it's really rewarding. So see, I'm going way too fast. I wasn't paying attention to my speed. But now I can put my bar back up. I just recently got a new exploration ship, too. You there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I just didn't know. I didn't know if your mic was, like, doing that thing again.
I know. I'm just really bad.
But yeah, no, I've played this game for probably 6 to 8 months. And, I haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Yeah. EVE Online's free, too, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know how it plays. I think it's like this, like it's a sandbox MMO, electrifying PvE, combat games, biggest battles. What? Wait. Also, it has like large scale battles and shit. A thriving player economy. Blah blah da da da.
Here's like another thing, right? So, in order to dock at a space station, you have to request to, or else you'll get a fine for trespassing, and they can also shoot you down. So how you do that is you want to go into your left-hand panel, contacts, request docking, and you have to be within 7.5 kilometers. And then it'll tell you your landing pad above your radar. So I'm landing pad 28. So then I will make my way. You can also get an automated docking assist module, which will basically dock for you. So I'm 2.8, so now I gotta find my pad.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at reviews for EVE Online.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has 3,588.9 hours on record. And then his review is recommended, and it says, okay, I think I started grasping the game now.
So what I'm doing right now is docking without the assist module. Hold on 1 sec, I'm getting... But yeah, so at space stations you can choose to refuel, repair, and rearm, which is going to cost you money, but everything costs you money in this game. There's another big thing that I must tell you: never fly without a rebuy. So if you fly your ship,
without
right?
A rebuy?
Yeah. So, like right now, this ship, I honestly don't know if I have enough to rebuy this ship if it gets destroyed. So if you get destroyed in space, you have insurance on your ship, right? And depending on how much your ship cost is going to be how much your rebuy is. So yeah, I barely have enough for my rebuy. 1 sec. So yeah, my rebuy is 6 million, and I have 8, so I barely have enough for a rebuy. If you do not have the money for a rebuy, your ship is lost forever. Like everything's gone. You're going to have to rebuy the ship and kit it out how you had it. Now, with outfitting, whenever you get your first actual decent ship, you can go into outfitting, and there's a whole power management system. It's going to get a little bit more complicated subject, because everything that you put on your ship is either going to slow it down or it's going to cost energy. So, one sec, I'll explain one sec. So with the power system, right? You see how it says total power up top, and it says 25.20 megawatts.
Where?
Oh, up yeah, top. Yeah. So retracted, I'm going to be using 17.17 megawatts. So that's with my hard points retracted, like my weapons. But with my weapons deployed, I'm going to be using 24.98 megawatts. So I'm pretty close. And then you have your, so say the hard points, right? Say that I wanted to sell this. You see how the blue bar is taking a chunk of my deployed? And then it says the 22.37 megawatts.
I think I see confirms. Wait. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that is telling you how much power you're going to be using once you sell this weapon, right? So you always want that bottom number to be lower than your max power, or else once you deploy it, your weapons, your ship is going to be basically telling you, hey, we don't have enough power to actually run the ship right now, and you're running off of fucking your life support, basically. So that's how your power management works, and everything is going to take either power, like I said, or it's going to be heavy, and it's going to slow your ship down. So with your internals, right, you can go and, like, this is your armor. This is just your stock armor. Armor can get really expensive like that.
Good lord.
Yeah. And it's going to slow your ship down. So you see your top speed is not moving whenever I'm looking at all this, but like if I go down to like reinforced.
That's the trade and the...
Yeah. So it's either...
I should say.
Yeah. So it's either going to slow it down or speed it up. Now you're going to have power plants. So this is basically your reactor. That's going to be powering your ship. And they can get pretty expensive as well. But you got your reactor, you got your thrusters, which is going to speed up your ship or slow it down depending on which one you use, but they also take power. You got your frame shift drive, which allows you to go into hyperspace. You got your life support, which basically means once you lose power to your ship, you're going to have this. Actually, I'm going to switch that out for that. Basically, whenever it says, hey, you're going to lose power to your ship or you're just so damaged. Let's say your canopy gets broken, right? Canopy's just destroyed. And you have no way of separating space from inside your ship. Your life support will kick on and start wiring oxygen to your suit. And the emergency life support is how much time you have to get to a place where you can repair your ship. So say that my canopy breaks, I will have 25 minutes of life support. If I take longer than 25 minutes getting to a space station, I will die.
Sounds like a lot, but in reality, it's not really.
Yeah. You got your power distributor, which basically just rewrites power to different areas of your ship, like your weapons, your engines, your systems, etc. And so with your sensors, right, it'll give you a little, basically a little description below, kind of like the icon of it, telling you what it does. So this is your targeting. This is basically how far you can target, and or how far you can contact. Yeah. So, and or how far you can contact certain things, like the space station. If you have a very low sensor, you're not going to be able to contact the space station from very, very far away. Then you got the fuel tank. I usually keep it at the stock one that I get because, you know, it's probably best that you do that. And then you have your
extra fuel capacity.
Yeah. So basically, you're trading off fuel for weight. So fuel does weigh you down. So that you have a 16 tons of fuel capacity. You're going to be slower than rather having a 4-ton fuel capacity. Then you got your shield generators. This is all an optional, so I mean you can choose to have one, but it's best to run with a shield all the time because shit can happen. So it can take, basically blocks your ship from taking damage to the hull. And then I have hull reinforcement packages, so I'm just tanky. So I have like 1300 hull strength. And 500 shield strength. But yeah, so that's basically the gist of understanding kind of just outfitting.
Just surface level stuff, enough to get me to know the rest of it.
Yeah. Now with one thing though, your frameshift drive. So this right here, this is whenever you jump to different systems. And so this is how you jump to different systems, right? So basically, you see down there where it says jump min, current, and max.
So where?
Underneath your total power, retracted, deployed, it'll say jump minimum, current, or max.
Hold on. Yeah, okay, I see it.
Yeah, so that's your jump range. So say that I wanted to go to said system that's 30 light years, and I have this frameshift drive. It would take me 2 or 3 jumps to get to said system that's 30 light years because I have a maximum jump range of 12.03. But say that I wanted to go to a system that's...
Is there some like kind of cooldown, like you jump 12 light years and then you have to wait a little bit, or?
Yeah, so there is a cooldown thing on your ship, just to prevent your frameshift drive from catching fire and shit like that, right? So there's somewhat of a cooldown, but it only lasts like 5 or 6 seconds. And it takes a second for your frameshift drive to charge up. Now this is my exploration ship, right? This is one of the best exploration ships, argued, out there, I guess you could say. Let me move to where I can actually show you. Okay, so this is called the Crate Phantom. I haven't quite used it that much, but this is one of my newer ships. I just bought it last night. But, yeah, this is my exploration ship, right? So, With exploration, I don't expect to have to shoot anything, right? So my hard points are where the weapons go, but I don't have any weapons in my hard points because if I put one in there, so I put a beam laser in there, it's going to take up power and it's going to slow me down. If you see in the top left, or in the bottom left, where it says ship specs and top speed, it's slowing me down, and also it's taking away some of my jump range. If you look down there where it says minimum current max.
Oh, it does. Huh. So
And
what do you use this one for? Is this like your cargo transport?
it's just my exploration.
Oh, exploration.
Yeah, so you're always going to want, well, majority of the time you either want a very low grade fuel scoop or high grade fuel scoop. On this one I have a 6A, and how you do fuel scooping is when you're low on fuel and you're in the middle of space, right? There's going to be, whenever you look at the galaxy map, there's going to be things called fuel stars. And that is the last star that you'll have a chance to scoop fuel from before you make your jump. If you don't scoop fuel from that star, then you're going to run out of fuel. And fuel scoops, you basically skim stars, like the sun and shit like that. You skim them, and then it converts all the hydrogen and stuff like that they're burning into fuel, and it refills your fuel tank. So with this one, the 6A, I am getting a scoop rate of 0.88 tons a second.
Can you only make like one pass on it, or can you make a couple?
You can make as many passes as you need to refuel your fuel tank.
Okay.
Like, so with that scoop, I'm scooping 0.88 tons a second. But how much?
And you only touch down on it, or like you kind of do a drive-by practically, or can you just
you basically
fly around the star a couple of times?
You basically just orbit the star, and it just scoops the fuel.
Okay.
So with that fuel scoop, I'm getting 0.88 tons a second, but my fuel capacity is 48 tons, right? So that means that in order to fill up my fuel scoop, or my fuel tank, I will have to scoop it and scoop it until either I'm ready to go or my fuel tank is full. Then you got your planetary vehicles. So this is called the Scarab. It's a planetary vehicle that basically once you land on planets, you can get out and hop in that. Basically drive around the planet.
Sheesh, you could play this game on a fucking potato. I thought this game would be hard to play. Like, you'd have to have a pretty decent system, but look at the specs for PCs. The recommended is an i7 3rd gen, which they're on the 11th gen right now. 8 gigs of RAM and a 770.
Yeah. And I think the big thing that makes that possible is there isn't different servers. Since this game is a one-to-one representation of the Milky Way galaxy, this is one massive server. And so, I think that's probably a cause of why you don't need all the super big specs and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's two different types of shields, by the way. There's a normal shield, and then there's a bi-weave shield. Bi-weave is going to provide less protection, but it's going to reboot quicker. Normal shield's going to be providing more protection, but it's going to be slower to reboot once it goes down. Auto field maintenance units, you can basically pick up materials from, say, a planet side, and let's say that you have a hole, say that your thrusters are offline. You can land on a planet, get out with your SRV, pick up materials, take them back to your ship, use the materials, put them in the auto field maintenance unit, and then repair your compartments in the ship that need repairing. So that's going to be like a last case scenario kind of thing. Then you can grab extra fuel tanks if you need them. There's the docking computer that I told you about. I just put it on this because I really don't want to be flying for 6 hours and then have to dock myself. Because I'm a lazy bastard.
Yeah. I can't blame you there, though.
Yeah. Super Cruise Assist and Planetary Approach Suites are always recommended. They just help you fly. And that's basically outfitting. I mean, it's easy, sort of, once you kind of get the idea. Livery, this is all, there is no such thing as like a pay-to-win system in this game. Liveries, you basically can pay money to get different skins. That's pretty much all there is.
Game's been out since 2015.
But there is some pretty cool looking skins and stuff like that. But it's never like a must to where you have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the basics. It's going to take a lot of time for you to kind of get to the level that, you know, that I'm at. Because right now I have ships that are combined are probably about 200 million. Like this guy's pretty cool. I grinded for 2 days for this dude.
Kitty kitty! Meow meow! Swear to God, I just heard a cat meow outside like you wanted inside.
But yeah.
Really nice, some nice natural light in here. Keep that door open.
There is some ships that do take time to get. Like this ship right here is called the Imperial Courier, and I grinded 2 days to get to the rank in the Imperial Navy to be able to buy this ship.
Huh. So are you like mainly a military guy, or do you just go off and do your own thing and then occasionally do some military guy stuff?
I usually switch. So I do missions. I'm a bounty hunter. I do some exploration. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. I don't really prioritize one thing or the other.
How often do you do like combat? Like not ship combat, but like boots on the ground type combat.
So that's the thing with this game. There's a new update coming out called Odyssey, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Odyssey right now on Steam.
So Odyssey right now has not came to PlayStation.
Huh.
The reason is because there's a lot of bugs in it apparently.
Yeah, it's not very well received, I've seen that.
Yeah. So they want to work on the bugs for PC before they bring it to consoles. Which is understandable.
Yeah, I'd definitely say for sure.
But yeah, it's basically the gist of the game. But yeah, you can really just do as you want. I'm actually very excited for Odyssey. I'm still waiting for it to come out. It's been delayed indefinitely until all the bugs and shit they think are fixed good enough on PC. So but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the game.
Cool. I have 5 minutes left, so.
Cool. I'm going to eat my food, and I will be back. I will give you a good view of the space station while I do so. And, yeah, I'll see if I can, just basically send you an invite to my crew.
I should go get some food, too.
Yeah, in the exploration ship. I still can't believe that COD just came out with that 66 gig update. It's ridiculous.
It's really thrown you through a loop, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they're like, here, you know, here's a 166 gigabyte game, but the updates, I promise you, shouldn't be that bad. We're going to try to minimize the space needed. And then they're like, nah, here's 66 gig update. It's cool, chief.
Go fuck yourself.
But, I'm going to eat. So I'll be back.
Alright, same.
Docking bay access is bidirectional. Please keep the airlock clear at all times. Thank you.
There you go.
This is a message to all commanders. Please reduce your speed when maneuvering your ship inside the docking bay. In the interest of smooth traffic flow within the docking bay, we request that pilots avoid blocking access to docking pads. Pilots, please show consideration for fellow visitors. Slow down and maintain a reasonable distance from other ships inside this dock. We will be forced to respond to aggressive actions. For peace of mind, please stow ship weapons while inside the docking bay. This is an important announcement. Security surveillance is in effect at the facility at all times. Any acts of aggression will be met with an appropriate response. If you're unable to complete docking procedure within your time slot, you'll need to exit the bay and resubmit a docking request. not obstruct the access corridor during arrival or departure. This is a message to all commanders. Please reduce your speed when maneuvering your ship inside the docking bay. We would like to remind all commanders to avoid blocking access to docking pads during arrival and departure. In order to keep bay traffic flowing smoothly, please follow standard operating procedures and request docking permission before entering the starport.
All right.
We would like to remind all commanders to avoid blocking access to docking pads during arrival and departure. The pilots, please show consideration for fellow visitors. Slow down and maintain a reasonable distance from other ships inside this dock.
Yo,
Yo,
what'd you eat?
I'm eating Hot Pockets.
I actually ate a burger.
Well, that sounds much better.
It was a fast food
I like
burger
Hot
though.
Pockets, but
Alrighty.